Hey there, it's Katie. I'm here to update you on my week with vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It has been a very frustrating week. I contemplated not doing a video this week because I have been so upset this week. But I've decided that instead of shutting down and giving up the fight, I will continue to fight. So, with that being said, I will tell you a little bit about what I have struggled with this week. There's been a lot of emotion. However, there are two major things that did not really need to add to the stress that I already was experiencing having this condition. The first one is called a premise file. The county that I live in offers something called a premise file request, which means that you can request that the medical director in the county review your medical condition and determine whether or not they believe it is necessary to have the information available to the dispatch services and EMTs and paramedics about your condition. If you remember, my condition is very dangerous. It is very rare. It's not in a lot of textbooks either. Ehlers-Danlos is in textbooks. However, the vascular form is rarely talked about because it is rare. The vascular form means that my arteries and organs can spontaneously or with minimal trauma rupture. The arteries can dissect spontaneously or with minimal trauma. So in May, or maybe it was the beginning of June, I submitted a premise file request with very detailed information about vascular Ehlers-Danlos and why I needed a premise file for my address. Figured that it would be necessary because in an emergency, it's possible that I might not be able to talk to dispatchers and tell them what's going on. I could present with a decreased mental capacity or ability to speak, and they might assume that I have low blood sugar and start treating me for that first, when instead they need to be looking at dissections. Imagine my surprise when on Friday night I checked my mail and my request was denied because the paramedics and the EMTs are constantly getting further education, and the medical director felt confident that they would be able to handle my medical situation. Now, while I feel that the paramedics and EMTs are probably very bright individuals, I have no doubt about that, I don't understand what the premise file is for if my condition doesn't qualify. There are other severe conditions that I'm sure should qualify, and I can't think of what they are if mine does not qualify. I will be appealing this decision, so there's that. And then my request for my insurance to cover my genetic testing for my condition was also denied. I got that in the mail yesterday, opened it today, and the reason I'm frustrated with that, and will be appealing this as well, it's just another thing to my list of things that I deal with on a daily basis. In order to see the doctors that I needed to see to set myself up for emergency care, meet surgeons that I need for emergency care, figure out a plan for how we're going to deal with this in an emergency, know the things that I need to look out for to decide whether or not I'm having an emergency, I needed a positive test, genetic test, or I needed to wait a year. I did not want to wait a year. I knew that I had this. I met several doctors I told them that I was pretty sure I had this. I gave them the reasons why, and they agreed that I probably had this condition. However, none of them felt comfortable ordering the genetic test. So I had to call a geneticist that I saw 3 years ago, who I saw with concerns for vascular Ehlers-Danlos, and who told me that I shouldn't worry about it because nobody has the vascular form. I had to call them now that I'm in a different state, and they agreed to send me a genetic test. Regence Blue Shield has denied my claim because it was investigational testing. When I got the positive test back, I was able to see that doctor that I was on a wait list for a year within 3 weeks. So, Regents, I will be appealing this decision as well. It never ceases to amaze me. When I opened the mail and I read this one, I was not surprised, and that is a problem. Anyway, that's it for this week. I have nothing else. Thank you guys for listening. Help me spread awareness of vascular Ehlers-Danlos and other rare diseases. I am sure that other people are also suffering from these struggles. Have a good day, guys.